Are you ready to watch me make between $300 and $1,400 a day with Google News? I'm certainly excited to try this method, which has been featured in lots of YouTube videos that have gone viral, and many videos are sitting at around 2 million views. The promise is huge. This method works worldwide and you don't need any special degrees or qualifications. Sounds intriguing? Let's see how it goes. First off, we have to open google.com, search for Google News, and you will land on this page. It's the world's biggest aggregator of local and global news that's continuously updated. What they tell you to do here is pick out news topics that catch your eye. Google News has many categories like tech, business, sports, entertainment, science and health, and they're all laid out on the menu bar. The videos that I watched suggested focusing on health and maybe business topics, so that's what I'm going to do. In the next few minutes, I will skim these news titles in the health niche and I will let you know what I picked. Alright, this is the post that I chose to work with. It's an article on CNN that is based on a study which found that unprocessed foods linked to heart disease, diabetes, mental disorders, and early death. The article is quite long and very detailed, which is great for this method based on what at least I gathered watching these videos. Next, they suggest that we should head over to spinbot.com. I don't know why in all these videos this particular website is suggested, because I know quite a few alternatives. Well, maybe because this one is free, but let's see if it does a good job. All we need to do is copy the article from CNN and paste it on Spinbot. Let me do that. Well, seems like the tool doesn't ask us to pay anything extra, so it's free so far, and I will check the quality of this rewrite later. Now let's compare the first paragraphs on the left and on the right. This was the source. Eating ultra-processed foods raises the risk of developing or dying from dozens of adverse health conditions, according to a new review of 45 meta-analyses on almost 10 million people. And this is the rewritten text. Eating ultra-processed food sources raises the gamble of creating or passing on from many unfavorable medical issues, and shouldn't be issues, as indicated by another audit of 45 meta-investigations. Come on, meta-analysis and meta-investigations doesn't sound like the same thing to me, whatever, or just about 10 million individuals. Honestly, if we just ignore the grammar mistakes and the words that are used in the wrong meaning, it seems like the difference between this text is just a few words replaced by a synonym here and there. It looks like a machine rewrite of the article. But the 2 million views videos promise that we should have no plagiarism worries because the text was 100% rewritten. And if the thought crosses your mind that this is just repurposing someone else's work, you're not alone. It had me pondering too. In one of the viral videos, the lady actually made a point that all major news outlets report the same stories on any particular day. Most of the time they just rewrite news from each other, she says, using different words. Well, this YouTuber told us only half of the truth here. I'll tell you soon why it's only half-truth, because I have some first-hand experience with this. You see, for the first 7 years of my professional 9-to-5 career, I worked as a content manager and an editor in an online news website. So throughout this video, I will be giving you a professional editor's perspective on each step of the method, since it involves Google News. The first tip that I can give you on this step is that you probably should use other tools rather than this particular content spinner. You could get better results even with the free version of ChatGPT. This AI tool can rewrite this text for you without those grammar mistakes, and it not just will mindlessly replace some words with synonyms as this basic text spinner did. So feel free to use my prompt in your ChatGPT account because it will help you get a decent AI-generated article based on this CNN post. So this was my prompt. Rewrite this article using simple language and make a clear structure of the post with subheadings, bullet points, and references to sources. And then you just copy and paste the entire article from CNN. While it's writing the text, we can actually start comparing the first paragraph that is generated by ChatGPT and the original text. So ChatGPT says ultra-processed foods are not just simple food items that have been altered. They are products made from cheap, often chemically modified ingredients like modified starches, sugars, oils, and blah blah blah. Now, just to remind you, the original text starts with something completely different. Eating ultra-processed foods raises the risk of developing or dying from doses of adverse health conditions. And there is a quote then from a scientist, which we don't see on ChatGPT's text. So basically, ChatGPT took the essence of that article and made a completely new piece. It created a new structure with headlines that are different from the original, and it summarized the original information. So this tip was just my 2 cents. I mean, probably my video will not get 2 million views, so I feel like people maybe even enjoy the videos that are promising them money falling from the sky. But if you find my angle on this method more helpful, maybe it's a good time to give me a like. And I think that we as users of this platform need to be more active, helping the algorithm figure out which videos are there just for the sake of getting as many views as possible and which videos are actually helpful. Getting back to the method that I'm trying my best to follow so far, what they suggest next is going to the website called eatingwell.com and finding on it a page with the writer's guidelines. And on that page there should be an editor's email. Then we're supposed to write an email to the address that they have in that video. I personally searched in every possible way on eatingwell.com and I couldn't find this guidelines page. But I did manually copy this email of this Julia Westbrook to follow through with this method. So I sent her my rewritten article by email following more or less the same structure of the email that was suggested in the viral video. I hit send, and a few minutes later, I've got an email reply. I didn't expect to get anything back so soon, so let's check what it is. Oh, okay, so this email doesn't exist anymore. Well, if I were that editor and my email address was shown to millions of people and I was getting maybe thousands of useless articles churned out by this spinner tool, I would also close that email address. And perhaps it might also be the decision of chief and editor of this website, eatingwell.com, to close the page about writer's guidelines because they had to remove the page about any kind of article submissions or writing opportunities. They probably were flooded with this low-quality content. I mentioned that I worked as an editor in online news website for about 7 years, and I can tell you that we were not that big of a site as this one, and we still were getting hundreds of emails daily from people who wanted to publish on our site something, and most of them were actually looking for a guest post to get just a backlink from an authority site. So we didn't even have to pay anything for those articles, and still those were human written, optimized for SEO articles, and we were still very picky as to what we were going to publish. Now, if that inbox of mine got spammed with thousands of low-quality submissions per day, it would certainly make my job very difficult and wouldn't allow me to separate the good requests from all the spam and the junk emails. So again, no surprise that this website doesn't have any information about paid articles anymore. Now, as a side note, I mentioned before that YouTubers who talked about this method as a real deal, they said it's no problem to use the content as long as you do the rewrite of it. And why did I claim that this is only half true? Well, when I worked as an editor, we did some interviews with experts, and that was about 40% of our content, but it was mostly a news website. So Indeed, a lot of times we had to report the same stories that were originally published on maybe some larger news agencies. This was over 12 years ago, and at the time we had no AI tools for quality rewriting, so it was only content that was rewritten by human editors. But even when we did so, we always added credits and links to the source of the news. Sometimes it takes more time actually to find the original source of the news than maybe just the rewriting process of the article. But it was part of our editing process and it was part of our ethics. That's how things are normally done in this industry. So in all these viral videos, they kind of forget to mention that respectable online magazines, they will not publish a story even if you rewrite it without giving credits to the original source. And if you send them a Google News story rewritten by you or even by ChatGPT, but you pretend that it's your original work, they will easily figure it out and they will probably blacklist your email anyway. And how will they figure it out? Oh well, let me tell you another secret. Editors start their working day by skimming dozens of fresh news sources on the topic that they write about. All these articles that you see in the Google News page, they have seen them before you many times and they know exactly where this content is coming from. Now, I think that I debunked this method enough, and sorry if it is disappointing to you, but these tools like Google News and this content spinner, which is anyway not any good, even as a rewriting tool, they are available for everyone. Why would these respectable websites pay someone to rewrite an article if they could do this themselves? So it doesn't work as easy as these videos are trying to show you, and these videos are going viral probably because it looks so easy. You can actually make money as a content writer. And there are still some websites that are accepting quality content in different niches. I will mention a few of them in case you are an expert in a certain topic, and then your knowledge will definitely be welcome and paid for. First, I would suggest to check these opportunities on ProBlogger.com website. You will find there a lot of sites and companies that are looking for writers. Click on Jobs tab and you will see so many options, and quite a few of them are looking for YouTube script writers, and most of those are remote jobs that you see on the site. But there are some jobs that even include a contract, and some of them are full-time jobs, like this one for a product review writer. Just on this site there has been 43 active jobs posted in the last month from so many different niches, from entertainment to tech and real estate. For example, you will see here a job for a B2B blog writer, and they even give you the requirements that the typical article length is around 1,200 words to 1,500 words, and it must contain research-based insights and practical tips. And at the end, they will give you a link to a Google form to submit your information and apply. You just need to copy this link and paste it in the browser, and it will open for you a form, and now you just need to submit your application. The next site is called Blasting News. This website isn't just any ordinary news site. Think of it as a place where writers can have fun and express themselves. They have a group of people called blasters, and you could be one of them, and you could be writing articles that maybe millions might read. You can earn up to $20 for every 1,000 of people who read your article. So if your article becomes very popular, you could even make up to $500. The best part is that their team helps share your work, so you're not alone in trying to get people to read it. This website pays writers based on how many people read their articles. It's a fair system, but how much money you will make depends on how many people will like your articles. There is also a site called Listverse where you can write fun lists. And if you write an engaging list of 1,500 words, you could get $100 and it can be paid out to your PayPal. They're looking for new and interesting ideas. However, they're picky about who can write for them, so you should check if you're eligible before you start. The next site is called Longreads, and this one is for longer, in-depth stories. If you have a compelling essay or a story, you could earn up to $500 if they publish it. But they're selective, and they specifically mentioned here that they don't accept AI written content. Now, posting articles for established websites might be your way to pay the bills, but if you want to build a different life for yourself with your content writing skills, you might consider starting your own website. I mean, you can do both. You can earn by writing for others while also building up your own blog on the side. If you write for your own blog, you are not paid by the word count. Heck, you might not get paid at all in the first year of blogging, but in the long run, it can become a six-figure business like it happened with me. In fact, my blogging income replaced my day job salary by the end of the first year of blogging. But I know a lot of bloggers who do this on the side, and they just double their income while still working on their blog, and they do it only in their free time and they keep their day job. If you want to learn how to start your blog, I have a free 7-day guide that will be delivered to your inbox with all the instructions and video tutorials. I will link it up there and also in the description below. If you found this video helpful, give me a like here, subscribe to my channel, and before I close this page, actually you can check out my other video from this I Tried It series, in which I tried to make money by watching videos on YouTube. So check it out there and see how did it go.